What would you do in each of the following situations? Number one, in the hospital elevator, you overhear two physicians talking about a patient's medical condition. They mention the patient by name. Has this ever happened? Maybe not so hypothetical. Would you A, ignore the situation? B, mention your concerns about patient confidentiality to the physicians and leave it at that? C, report the incident? Or D, secretly record the conversation on your cell phone and send a CD of the recording anonymously to the hospital administrator? All right. Raise those hands up high if you would ignore it. Let's see, who would ignore it? Yes, right over here. Why would you ignore it?
Because I don't want to get into trouble.
Fair enough. Who would talk with the people and leave it at that? Talk with the people and leave it at that. Yes, ma'am, right over here.
I would, because it's honest, and you should point it out to them right away.
So it's honest to talk with them about it. I propose that, yes, in every one of these situations, there's either one right answer or one response that's much better than the others, and the way that we find out what that is through what I call the life principles. You know these as principles of ethics. And you know what? Here's the good news. You know these principles already. You learned them as a child from your parents, from teachers, from mentors you may have had in your house of worship. But in the course of becoming a successful, busy professional, sometimes we put these principles aside, don't we? So what I'd like to do now is review these principles, say a little bit about where they come from, and then revisit the quiz and see if these life principles can point us in the right direction. The first and foremost, most fundamental ethical principle of them all is do no harm. Life principle number 2, make things better. Life principle number 3, respect others. Life principle number 4 tells us to be fair, to be just in our dealings with folks. Principle number 5 calls upon us to treat people with loving kindness, to be compassionate, to be caring. People tend to give you their best effort when they feel appreciated. Folks will actually leave, you may even be someone like this, leave a well-paying job to take a job that pays less money because at the first job, right, I didn't feel appreciated. I wanted to go to a place where my work was valued. Now, here's the tricky thing, though. If you, later today, when you pull someone aside you care about, your spouse, a son, a daughter, a friend, and say, I just want you to know I really value our relationship. How will they respond? What do you want from me? Because people are not used to hearing this. At what social occasion are you most likely to let someone know how much you value them, how much they mean to you, how much you care about them? At the person's funeral. How much good does that do? Shouldn't the funeral be held the day before the person dies? So that at least they can find out, about all this love that they didn't even know existed. It takes very little effort to let people know that you appreciate them, and they're unappreciated people all over. I'll bet, in fact, in this room there's some unappreciated people feeling a little unappreciated. Could you raise your hand if you feel a little unappreciated at the moment? Ma'am, could you come up here? I don't want to force you, but I guarantee you're going to like this. Come on up here. Thank you. Right over here. Because, my friends, and I'll bet you've noticed this too, when someone says they're feeling unappreciated, they probably are telling the truth. So, what is your name? Marilyn? Okay, could you come up here? Now, this is Marilyn. Where are you from?
Miami.
Miami? Marilyn's not feeling so appreciated today. For the next 30 seconds, my friends, I want you to give Marilyn the loudest standing ovation you have given anyone in your life. Get up and let her know. Come on, up, everybody, up, come on. Come on, up, everybody, up, come on. Come on. Marilyn. You've made this woman's day. For years, she's going to be talking about the standing ovation she got in Fort Lauderdale. And how much effort did that take out of you? How much did it cost? And you know what? Here's something else that's pretty cool. Check in with yourself. I'll bet right now you feel better than you did a minute ago. And it's not just because you stood up and flapped your arms, right? It's not just because you gave her applause. It's because for 30 seconds you were devoting all of your energy, all of your thoughts to this person and making a difference in her life. And it made you feel better. Now, if there's one take-home message in today's talk, it's this. The reason to do the right thing is simply because it's the right thing to do. It just so happens that there are all these wonderful professional and benefits to us when we take that high road, when we do the right thing, when we show people that we care about them. But that's not the reason to do it. That's not the justification to do it. Now let's recap the 5 principles. Number 1, do no harm. 2, make things better. 3, respect others. 4, be fair. And 5, be loving. I promised that we would revisit the quiz, and I want to show how these principles point us in the right direction. You know, there's no simple formula for doing the right thing, but there is a formula for doing the wrong thing. And when you look at all the options open to you, the thing that's the easiest to do is almost always the wrong thing to do. Now, in the hospital elevator, it may sound a bit strong to say this, but remember Edmund Burke said, all that is necessary for evil to flourish is for good people to do nothing. If we ignore this situation, the problem will continue. Now, this is not to say that the physicians are doing this maliciously. They're, just busy, they're caught up in the moment, and yet, by taking a private discussion into a public arena, what's the downside to this? They risk not only violating patient confidentiality, but perhaps alarming family members who are there with somebody else and might overhear this and become unduly worried. So ignoring the situation is the easy thing to do, but it's not the right thing to do because it fails to honor the relevant life principles. And reporting the incident, at least if this is the first infraction, seems a bit harsh, doesn't it? Remember, we said the punishment should fit the crime, to be fair, to be just. So C is too hard, it's too wrong in the other direction. So talking with them and mentioning your concerns is the right thing to do. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I liked the interaction, I liked his message, and it was just a wonderful presentation.
It was excellent.
I think he's great. The response of the crowd was tremendous, and you could just feel it.
I think he's very, very refreshing and humorous and engaging, and I think everybody really enjoyed it.
Excellent speaker.
I thought it was spectacular, very impressive, especially in the time we live in.
I do team building in my organization, and I also teach a class on communication, and it'll be perfect for me. All of the things he talked about.
Yeah.